我只是问他们有没有问题今天。Okay. So before we are going to take these eight precepts for a day, today I'm not going to explain anything, but I'd like to know, do you have any question? 就是说，今天因为这个受这个 well, originally the word, when you take these 8 precepts in a certain country in tradition, during in old days, that certainly we don't have, unless because of influence by the Christianity. So in the old days, that in a certain country like a Buddhist country, they would take like the New Moon Day and Full Moon Day as the holiday. So I'm not sure in China. I don't think Chinese have holiday in the past. Certainly, the way that they work is different nowadays in business. So I think even I remember even in England in the old day, in a certain place also, sometimes Sunday there almost no shop is opened, in a certain town. I'm sure that the reason why they definitely need to have the holiday or the close at Sunday because they have to go to church or because of that they think that's the day should we take a rest or like that. But for Asian, I guess they had to work harder because so the whole month maybe if they really have holiday or really have a day off, it will be on the full moon and the new moon day. So you could say that just only 2 days off in a month. And during the 2 days off in a month in India, in those days, if you are devoted to the religion, so then you still certainly have to go to like a temple or any or monastery, something like that. So they would have their own way of doing this. Some they following the fasting, but for lay people, we are talking about a lay now. This is all the activity for the lay person. So then the fasting, if they have something very similar to the idea of fasting, is what we call the uposatha. So the uposatha, that's what you're doing actually. That's called observing the uposatha. By observing the uposatha, you need to meditate, that you just spend your time, not to rely on, not going to have a comfortable bed to sleep, something like that. You are not going to, you're kind of like, maybe that's how we call it fasting. I mean, you don't follow like a daily life that you maybe sometimes like to go to have some entertainment, you like to have a good drink, have a really big meal with people and so forth, but you just want to keep everything in a certain limit, keep yourself in a certain limit. By that, so this is why you have observed the 8 precepts, okay? And I explained yesterday, when you observe the 8 precepts, when you look at it, so lots of them, because you need to spend your time to, in general, in old days we don't have so-called like nowadays you see it in the Buddhism, they do chanting, not like that. So what they would do, come to the temple, they offer the meal for the monk. That's what they want to do, and as well as they were just doing the meditation. This is what we call 六水念嘛, and they follow the 6 kind of meditation. One meditation means contemplate on the Buddha, not because of Buddha statue. In old days, we don't have Buddha statue. Actually, Buddha statues came quite late. Contemplate the Buddha, the virtue of the Buddha. It's like the Buddha is an Arahant, the Buddha is an enlightened one, the Buddha is a fully enlightened one, the Buddha is like Samma Sambuddho. The Buddha is the one accomplished his wisdom and his good behavior, and there are 3 kinds of supernatural power and 6 kinds of supernatural powers he has, and so forth. That's what you do the contemplation of Buddha. And then you some people find it very hard to content himself, just contemplate to the Buddha, then contemplate to the Dhamma. Let's say that some word you have developed certain Dhamma, and the Dhamma you can see right now, you don't have to wait, on the verge of dying, and then it is always that good thing with you, it can always lead you and so forth, and lead you to your life. So like that, and contemplate to the Sangha, I explained that they also, that means, so that those who are follow the Buddha teaching, they become such and such, like a Buddha, and what kind, then the other person was always have a good behavior and so forth. Right? And then they contemplate to this generosity. So, and then they have to contemplate that, so I have done a lot of generosity work, so I'm helping this, or I was financially helping this and that. That is a contemplation for generosity. And that's the fourth one. The fifth one is the contemplation of the word is called contemplation of the divinity, or you could say the heaven. So the contemplation of divinity is a little different. It's not saying that, because, in Buddhism, the cosmology in Buddhism is that you have different level of heavens. So you do not contemplate that like the heaven being that they protect you. We don't do that. I mean, at least the way being prescribed in the text. The way that they contemplate the divinity or the heavens is that, they have such a heavens there, so because they have done what kind of good deed. So I am going to follow this kind of good deed, so I also can be that. And then the same thing that, as I say, altogether we have 24 levels of heavens. So and then, if you are know all, say that then you contemplate one, the four gate heavens, and then to these Yamaka heavens, to this. I'm not going to explain that because this really is a big subject too, and this is up to what we call the heavens that without a physical body, only the existence of consciousness. So, and how could they be born in such a heaven? Because they do not attach to the physical body, they are mental, have a higher transformation, so that if I can reach in this kind of virtue, I also can be born like that. That's what they call the contemplation of heavens. What the other one is that, I think if I were wrong, is the contemplation of the death. That you start to think about some relative you have, some friends, some people, they just pass away, and then maybe you heard about the news of people passing away. Then you need to contemplate that people are passing away, and understand that's the nature of the world, and everyone will one day will be pass away as well. Then I will be when pass away as well. So that it's by doing that kind of contemplation, then you will not attach. Basically, a lot of problem might be solved in your because when you think about the death that will come to your life, sooner or later, or maybe you never know when, then you don't look at you would not be tempted, basically you would not be tempted by a lot of things in the world, Maybe you will look at the world, look at the life, kind of like a, more, maybe more understanding, I would say, best to use that way, okay? That's what we call the sixth contemplation, okay? Now, since you are here to practice this, the force of life abode, so, and traditionally still, then the best thing, then you still can observe these 8 precepts. That's what we call uposatto actually sometimes. So that you don't rely on this kind of material thing. Like normally you don't necessarily can observe well, like, don't kill, don't steal, and when I say steal, this is, let's say that if you're doing business, somehow you try a way to escape, to have a little pay more tax and so forth. I mean, I'm not here to say about those kind of things, but I just want to say that when you really come to the monastery, you just want to spend one day, right? And even at least this day, you're definitely not thinking about that, how you can escape the tax. Not the big tax, say that. I don't mean that you're really like this. It's like anything that maybe relate to a little, you want to get more, so you must really exploit some other people sometimes. In the life, it's very hard to say that you never you never commit that. You could, sometimes, even by I don't know, by certain justification, you could commit that too. Well, and also something to do with the material, like you're not going to like it at house, sitting in a sofa, very comfortable, sleeping in a very good bed, water bed and so forth. So that you just learn not to rely on music, listening to music, seeing the entertainment, watching the TV. Right? You don't rely on this king, but just your mind. And this is why you have. That's actually the main reason why. This how the Buddha also mentioned. It is said in a sutta. So people are arguing what is the best way to have the most spiritual day. And I don't have time now to talk there. And the sutta mentioned this and that. People say that way. For example, you should bath your body well, and then you worship the 8 direction or 4 direction. Then you are and some say no. The best spiritual is that you take your family, take the cow with you in India, and when the holy cow, when they go where, you just follow the holy cow. And when the holy cow stop there, you just have a picnic time, wonderful family time, and then you have a spirituality. At least that mentioned in the sutta. But then the Buddha say, the best actually to have a spiritual, you observe these 8 precepts and do these 6 kind of contemplation, like that. And then, of course, now you're adult, now you could compare if there was something like that and see which way, Last thing I want to say about the precepts and 8 precepts here, I also, even though you kind of understand why the 8 precepts been, promote, or you could say, been, okay. Suddenly I lost a lot of English word. So anyway, why the Buddha advised us to have these 8 precepts. But at least I know in the past when before I become a monk, and I just started to, as a young guy, started to learn Buddhism, at least go to the temple in Malaysia. And at the time, some people, I don't know why, people like to torture themselves. After they have this 8 precept, just for a day, when they go back home, and they stop us, don't watch TV, don't do this, You know what I'm saying? And then some people, in those days, if you hear you are listen to music, young guy, and you just wanted to feel nice and listen to music, you are not a good Buddhist. Didn't you say that? You don't listen to the music, And that's why then you don't want to be a Buddhist, because it's really, you cannot do anything. And you feel guilty if you somehow thinking that, oh, I'm a Buddhist, good Buddhist now. If I go to see entertainment, I'm a bad guy, right? And if I go to hearing the music concert, I'm a bad guy. In those days, especially, you have this what we call party. No, not party. What do you call? I forgot. Suddenly, English. Because I never go actually in my life. Just went there once. What do you call? People like to go at night to go to dancing. What do you call it? A club. Yes, yes, the club. And actually I went, but really later on I find it's not my cup. It's so noisy. But then I couldn't feel the beat with me anyway. I feel that it's just so noisy. Yeah. But anyway, so that's the 8 precepts. The purpose was that, but it's not really when you go back home, you have to be like that too. But you know what I'm saying. So, and do not have that don't carry this kind of. But you could certainly, if you're really serious about your practice, and you want to have a whole day on practice. But this 8 precepts can be a really good, kind of like a rule for you, to have, otherwise you don't know why I cannot meditate well. And also you don't have the correct way of understanding that when you're doing meditation, what you should do. Like, you are not going to say, I'm going to meditate now for a whole day, but then I also watch TV and listen to music. If you're really serious. I always take a simile. It's almost like, I know that if I want to really write something, like write a paper, write a thesis or whatever, or really do something serious, I don't think you're thinking to see it, entertainment, listen to music. You really just want to focus on the subject, right? Like that. Okay, now why don't we just take 8 precepts and we can take a little break and after that. And I noticed yesterday, because I didn't let you guys take break for 10 minutes, and when we just start meditation, everybody just, okay. So, yeah, just take the 8 precepts first. Thank you.
Aham bante tisalanena saha atanga samanang gatam upasatang silam dhammam yachami anugahang katwa silam detame bante Dudiyambi Okas Aham Bante Tisalanena Saha Atanga Samanang Gatang Upasatang Silam Dhammam Yachami Anugahang Katwa Silam Detame Bante Tadiyambi Aham Bante Tisalanena Saha Atanga Samanang Gatam Upasatang Silam Dhammam Yachami Anugahang Katwa Silam Detame Bante Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Tatiyampi Saṅghaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi Tisaraṇaṃ Gamaṇaṃ Sampunnaṃ Pāṇātiපාdā Vēramaṇī Sikkhapadaṃ Samādhiyāmi Adinādāna Vēramaṇī Sikkhapadaṃ Samādhiyāmi Abrahmacharya Vēramaṇī Sikkhapadaṃ Samādhiyāmi Musāvādā Vēramaṇī Sikkhapadaṃ Samādhiyāmi Surameraya Majjapamatatthāna Vēramaṇī Sikkhapadaṃ Samādhiyāmi Vikkālabhojana Vēramaṇī Sikkhapadaṃ Samādhiyāmi Naccakita Vādita Visukkatassana Mālakantha Vilepanadhārana Mandana Vipusanathāna Vēramaṇī Sikkhapadaṃ Samādhiyāmi Ujjāsayana Mahāsayana Vēramaṇī Sikkhapadaṃ Samādhiyāmi Tissaranena sahattanga samanakata uposattha silang sadukang katva dhammang appamadena sampadetha. Okay, just prostrate 3 times. I will give you maybe, if you want to go to the restroom, I just